I think maybe he is lost. He must be lost. Just a few years ago, he was talking about the big bad wolf, the big enemies of the world. And then he just turned around and said, actually, forget about that. Alex Jones did it. That's what Glenn Beck was saying. He was saying, like, hey, guess who was behind 9/11? It was Alex Jones. But what about the Federal Reserve? What about Deep State? What about all these other people that you've talked about? You know, in 1913, those things that Deep State was doing and the other people were doing. Why are you not talking about that anymore? And I would encourage anybody who listens to Glenn Beck to try to remember what he used to talk about. Just a few years ago now, he turned around. He must have been bought out or something, and they tried to buy Alex, and he said, no, hell no. And, it's incredible to be a part of the second global revolution. This second American revolution is a European revolution, African revolution, Asian revolution. It's totally global, and we're in the ride for our lives, and we all have a crucial part to play, and we're doing great things. It's incredible the different characters that are involved in this global revolution that's happening, and your kids will tell you about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, your children will tell you, hey mommy, hey daddy, did you know what Oatmeal was talking about? And you're gonna say, no, I don't know. And your kids are gonna say, why weren't you paying attention, mommy and daddy? And you're gonna say, oh, I was I don't know. Maybe I was a little stupid. Maybe you were. But I would say it's incredible. And I mean, I just think about the characters, the different people that are involved. You have Drudge and WikiLeaks and Veritas and InfoWars and Certific and Mullinix and you have the Q. The Q, I like that because it makes me think about the Q in Star Trek Next Generation. And that character in Star Trek was like an all-knowing being. Maybe not all-knowing, but it was like all-powerful. And I kind of feel like this Q in real life is kind of like that Q in Star Trek, and it's very, very similar. Maybe not really similar, but it's pretty ironic, pretty coincidental. And I was just watching the Alex Jones show today, and I was just thinking about that. So I'm Oatmeal Joey, and I'm doing a live stream. I was just doing a live stream on Periscope. Periscope is a website, and it connects to Twitter. That lets you do a live stream, and it lets you flip the camera on your phone, so you can go to the front, go to the back, and Facebook's not doing it. It did it before with like an Apple phone. I was able to flip the camera, and I can use the front camera or the back camera, and I can just press the button and flip while I'm doing a live stream. And now I can't do that. I cannot do that on Facebook live streaming on a phone, on this phone at least. But I can do it with Periscope with this phone. It's what kind of phone is it? Like Sony. And so I was on Periscope, and I think I kind of like it. And I just wonder about what they're going to do. Like, what is Facebook doing? Like, what are they thinking? Why are they against your family, your people, your world, everything that you care about, everything that I care about, Facebook is going after, and that's why we're talking about it. That's why we're doing amazing things to try to let the general public know what is going on, and we really want you to know. We want you to join us because it's a lot better that way. Many hands makes heavy work light. It makes it much lighter, and you would feel a lot better if you join. You probably feel a lot better if you join and you did it. I mean, only if you wanted to, but it's pretty ironic. It's pretty ironic that that the deep state continues to lie so much that the younger generation is totally lost, just like Glenn Beck. That's the name of the video right now that I'm doing right now. The name of this live stream video on Facebook is called Lost by me, Oatmeal Joey Arnold. And I called this video Lost because I want to describe how lost we can be without the light, without the truth, without illumination, revolution, original oatmeal, hope over dope, joy over circumstances. It's incredible when you find the truth and the truth sets you free, and you totally feel like you just want to get up and start dancing and go places you never went before and do things you've never done before and tell your friends about it and tell everybody about it because it's exciting and it'll just make you go to the next level. It helps you level up like nothing else. And then once you get to the next level, then when you go back to your family, your friends, other people, and you tell them what you found, they'll call you crazy, and you have to just suck it in and move on. Suck it in, because no pain, no gain. You gotta move on, and you gotta just let it be what it is. Whatever it is what it is. And sticks and bones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Do you believe that? Do you believe that early to bed, early to rise makes a person wealthy, healthy, and wise? Do you know that? Is it raining? Is that rain, or is that somebody taking a shower? Somebody taking a bath? I don't know what's going on. Always like to redesign things. I'm like moving around stuff. Since I was a little kid, I would move stuff around in my room. I would do a lot of interior design. It's an illustration of my brain. And our house is a personification of our lives, our brain, our minds. And if you have a dirty camp, you have dirty campers. If you have a dirty house, you have a dirty mind. You have a mind that's dirty and cluttered up, and it starts to feel terrible. That's why it's so great to make your bed in the morning, because then you wake up and you feel like a new man, a new Joey, a new Oatmeal, a new girl or boy or whatever you are. Whatever you are, you can be. You can be whatever you want to be, maybe, to some extent. That's what free will is all about. Some people don't want to believe in a lot of free will, freedoms and choices, and they don't want to be responsible. They don't want to be accountable, and we try to find excuses and reasons to not talk about it, to not think about it. But we can have more accountability and everything. We can have more oatmeal in my bowl, and with oatmeal in my bowl, is Jesus in your soul? I would love to know it. And our soul can have a song, and the song can keep us dancing for days, dancing with joy, dancing with new found revolution, newfound revelation, newfound resolution, rejuvenation, illumination, radical discourse. There are always things to do, places to go, and people to do. People to see. And may you find the time to stop sometimes and to rest a little bit, to take some pauses and to reflect on the foundation of your eternal life, or lack thereof, and read a book, smile, and remember that being lost is okay at times. People are always looking for orange juice, L4OJ. People are looking for orange. Glad I didn't say banana. People are looking for orange juice. Lamentations for only Jews. Lying for only Jezebel. And limitations for Oatmeal Joey. L4OJ. People are always looking for joy. Outrageous joy. But you can only find the L4OJ in the L4OJ living for only Jesus, not for anything else or whatever. It's only Jesus, and that is the root, that is the foundation, and there's nothing better than that. There cannot be anything better than that, and that's what original oatmeal is all about. That's why I'm called Oatmeal, because it's the personification of the jars of clay. We are the jars of clay. We are the daily bread. We are moldable if we want to be moldable, and flexible, and we're a flower that's blooming in the storm, and at the end of the storm is a rainbow, beautiful rainbow, and it's beautiful, and you can find the love. You can find the love of God, which is only in Jesus, and not in Allah, not in any of the other religions. Because the other religions are different, and they say, well, you have to earn it. Can't earn it. That's because you have to have a new heart. So you have to ask Jesus to give you a new heart. And if you don't do that, you will be lost, and you are lost, and we're all lost until we're able to admit that we're lost and we're broken and we need help. And then we ask for the help. We ask to get a new heart, to be saved, to get a new path, a new heart, a new everything. Whatever you want to say, it's new, it's exciting, and it's worth it forever. And nothing is better. There's no way to deny what life is all about. The meaning of life, the meaning of love. It's a big circle, a big Lion King circle thing. Billy Graham talked about it for like almost 100 years, about 80 years actually, but still he was talking about it. He was talking about it, and people would go to him. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of people have seen Billy Graham in real life, and he would always talk about that. Even back in 1971, he talked about the deep state establishment in government, especially in America, and how it's terrible, and how the Attorney General talked about that, how the greatest fear, the greatest problems comes from within, not from without, especially in the government. That's why we go and we try to drain the swamp and make America great again, and other countries too, because it's all about your family first, your country first, your people first, your community first, and your values first. And we want other people who agree with our values, who love our country, loves our people, loves our values, to be in our country. And we're gonna govern the borders, because that's what walls are all about. That's what barriers all about. And I don't care what the Black Panther King said about barriers and walls being like foolish. It's not foolish, it's very wise. You have bridges, you have doors, but you also have walls, and you need them all. And it's very, very pragmatic. It's very, very useful, and it's helpful. And everybody has walls, and everybody has like skin, and we have separations of power in government, and we have order, we have design in the universe. We can see that in science, and that's good, Mr. Wahid Zaman. Thank you. You say you're absolutely right. The way you're speaking, I totally agree with you, and that's good. And it's really interesting that you're saying that. And I would say that life is full of mysteries, but when you get some kind of gut feeling inside yourself, you can either do something or do nothing. But if you do something, you will be rewarded for acting on your instinct, your intuition. You know, your gut will tell you when you need to act, when you need to say something, when you need to go and do something that's good and pure and incredible. And you will know it as you take the time to know what life is all about, what is good ultimately. If you take the time to get back to the origin of life and love and all those incredible things that are what people are all about, you will find joy and hope and love and life that's bigger and better than anything else. I go online a lot. I go on Facebook and I see lonely people. Sometimes people will call you lonely because they are lonely. Sometimes people will yell at you because they were yelled at, and they feel the pain, they feel the confusion because they're lost. And we're all lost sometimes, and confused and hurt and abandoned and broken. We all have our stories and our struggle, and we are divided so much. We feel the division so much, and it's just incredible, Mr. Bertrand, the division, the confusion, the pain. But you can be there for those people and for yourself, and you can find in your heart a way to give them a hug, give them something that you would want yourself. Do to others as you would like to been done to yourself, kind of thing. Like, love your enemies, love your neighbors, do good to those who hurt and persecute you, for thine is the kingdom of heaven. There is nothing better than that. Nothing, Mr. Bertrand, Mr. anybody else who's listening. Shanti the Win, Mr. Yain Shanmul, Mr. Jake Wing. Hi, nice to meet you. Hello, sir. Hello. You're absolutely right. I like the way that you're speaking. I totally agree with you. And hello from Barry Churn. I get a little bit of some comments when I go on Facebook, and I didn't get any viewers, any viewers on Periscope. That's too bad, but I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Maybe I should try to go live on YouTube. I wonder what DTube has. That's another website. It's called DTube. It's kind of like YouTube, but it's decentralized. I love what blockchain is doing, what cryptocurrency is doing, what Steam is doing, Steemit. These other websites that are trying to be more about capitalism and decentralization and the free market and the blockchain system and cryptocurrencies and all those kinds of things, because we're trying to get away from centralization and corporatism, plutocracy, technocracy. Did I say plutocracy? And oligarchy, bigger government. I'm just talking the words that describes bigger government and corporations working along with government all around the world, and centralization and monopolism, and there's probably a couple other things too, but there are incredible patriots rising to help us out of the fog, out of the darkness, out of the shadows of death. Though I may walk through the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thine is the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I really like Psalms 23. I remember memorizing Bible verses since I was about 8 years old in 93 in Oregon. I'm from Oregon. I grew up in Oregon. I was in Quebec and New York and West Virginia and South Carolina, and so I've traveled a little bit. I like to travel, and I like to meet people when I travel, and that's what it's all about, and that's why I go online to the different social networks to see people and meet people and tell them I know what it's like. I try to sympathize and empathize a little bit because I know what it's like to feel lost and abandoned, because I was really shy when I was younger a little bit. I want to be your friend on Facebook. Can I have that chance? You can be my friend. I'm your friend, Mr. Wahid Zaman. Where are you from? Let me know. I'm guessing you're from somewhere in Africa. It's too bad what's happening in South Africa. There's genocide. How do I say? People are getting murdered. There's a lot of racism going on in South Africa, and farmers are getting murdered because they're trying to take over the farms, because some people in South Africa are saying that is our land, even though it's not their land, it's not their property, it's not their farms. They have this attitude, this perspective, this belief of that they are so entitled, that they deserve this or that or everything. So they just try to take it over, and they're doing a lot of crimes, including rape and theft and a lot of things. And don't forget about what's happening in other countries like Europe, especially Europe, and social media, like especially Facebook, is blocking it. Now, my Facebook is pretty small, so Facebook is not always blocking me, but if I were a lot bigger, then they would come after me. So Mr. George Soros, he is telling you, if you don't know, that you cannot go to Drudge Report. What website? The website, the drudgereport.com. You can't go there, especially in Europe. And he's been blocking or trying to block these websites. Infowars.com, drudgereport.com, and the other ones too. Cernofic.com. And we are not going to back down from the boogeyman, from the deep state like George Soros, even though he's been putting in a lot of money to overthrow and divide a lot of countries. He's put in so much money. George Soros has put in over like $300 billion into a lot of countries the last few years, to influence the elections in a lot of countries and other things involving government politics in a lot of countries, especially America. And he basically does what they say Russia did in America. George Soros actually has been doing in America and in a lot of countries. So he's a lot like the Emperor in Star Wars. He is Darth Sidious. He's 10 times worse than Darth Vader. He is a monster. He is the man that shall not be named, Voldemort in Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter. I'm the love child of Harry Potter and Austin Powers. And just wanted to go live for a second, but I'm probably going to stop because I'm working on a lot of things. I'm a jack of all trades and I do a lot of things. If you don't know, I'm just going to tell you, for first-time listeners, I'm a person who does stuff. I like to write and draw and sing and make stuff. I know how to make stuff. I know how to put things together. I can build a website. I can build a computer. But I just want you to know that I'm not an idiot. And when I talk about stuff, I know what I'm talking about because I take my time to figure things out. And I don't know everything, but I do know a little bit. And I've been around for a little bit of time. I'm not a little tadpole. I wasn't born yesterday. I wasn't, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. People forget so much. People forget yesterday. They forget yesterday. And you remember, and they forget, and you gotta remind them. You can remind the people, other people, anybody, your family, your friends, other people. When they forget something, you can say, hey, remember that? Remember that? Because they're gonna say something, they're gonna say, look at that. You're gonna say, yeah, but what about that? You gotta do that. You can do that. You got the heart. You got the soul. That's why you can go on the computer. You can go on the internet on lots of websites like Facebook, and you can talk about things and you can ask some questions because, conversations are fun and people love to have conversations. So you can do that. You can share links and videos and photos and articles and all kinds of things. If you want, if you like something, talk about it. Don't let the deep state tell you what to do, what not to do, what not to say. Don't let them say no, I can't talk about that. Because if you're lost, then they win. The boogeyman, the wolves. the snakes, the globalists, all those crazy weirdos. Voldemort wins. The Emperor wins. The Emperor with no clothes on. They win. They win if they're able to make you feel lost, even if you're not. If they're able to mute you, disable you, silence you, then you become nobody. You become what you're not. You are somebody with a purpose, with a destiny, with the ability to make mountains move in the name of Jesus. Like, you can do so much, but it starts with listening to not the stars, but to the ones that made the stars. Listen to your gut. Listen to that small voice inside you, in your heart. You know, it's so incredible what people can do when they come together and when they have a lot of love and compassion and life and joy and hope. And there is so much purpose and meaning to life when you get back to the root of it all. When you get back to the root of life, you remember what you forgot. Maybe what you never knew. For the most part, you kind of always knew it since you were a little boy or a little girl. And either you were a boy or a girl. Couldn't really be anything else. Could you? I know. Some people say, well, maybe you could be a thing. Maybe you could be a half girl, half boy thing. Maybe today you're a boy, tomorrow you're a girl. Really? I don't think so. But if you want to believe in that, I'm right. But as far as I know, the only thing I know is that there are boys and girls. How you feel is a separate issue, but your sex or gender, whatever you call it, is what it is. Even if you have an operation, it's still not really gonna turn you into something else, because you are what you are, because it's pretty spiritual, as far as I know. I mean, that's my gut telling me that it's a deep issue, but I tell you that you are special and you are not just a number. You're not just a number. You're not just a number. You're not just an ordinary flake of oatmeal in a bowl. Or maybe you're just a potato. What do you think about it? What do you think about that? And somebody's laughing. I'm gonna go find out what's going on. I'm Oatmeal. Hold on. It's 2018 February 25, Sunday. Alright. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in Shelton, near Seattle, Washington, of the United States of America. I'm Oatmeal JA Arnold. Alright. You know what I'm saying? Alright. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Here we are. I'm just doing a little bit of an update. And I was talking about Glenn Beck, and he was talking about, the terrible boogeyman of the deep state and the Federal Reserve some years ago. And now he's talking about, Alex Jones now is the bad guy, even though he's not really the bad guy, and now he's making a contradiction. So I would just ask all the people who might listen to Glenn Beck and CNN and anything else, hey, whatever happened to the deep state being, the people that are stealing our money and stuff, and being the bad guys and stuff? Because isn't that what you used to talk about? And now you're talking about Alex Jones and conservatives and other people who are just trying to fight for our freedom of free speech and religion and arms and property and everything else. And whatever happened to liberty, justice, and the American way, that You know, that's the thing that Superman was all about. And probably Batman too, and the Justice League. But you know, think about that. Think about what's that all about? Is that how the cookie crumbles? Is that what it's all about? Put my left hand in, but put my right hand in, and check it all about. Do the little hokey pokey, turn myself around, and that's what it's all about. Is that what it's really all about? Like, what's happening? What's going on? How do you get back to the bottom of the rabbit trail? Is this some kind of rabbit trail, or is there something that's more important that we need to think about? That's what I try to think about. I try to make sure that I have a free agent mind, not a secret agent, but a free agent mind, brain. I try to think outside the box, think outside the bun, think outside the shield of the Salvation Army. Who said that? Mary Angel in Hillsborough? I think she was the first one that said it, and so I can't forget about that. So think outside. Think outside. You gotta get outside. You gotta get outside the world and the universe and time and everything. And the only way you can do that is to find your true identity, find your true address, which is in heaven and the new heaven and earth. And that's ultimately where we belong, on the right side or the left side of history, and up there, in here, down here, eventually later on after things pass away and the new things come, because this is a shadow of what life really is, and that's why it feels like a dream, because it is a dream compared to ultimate reality, which is going to come someday, but we haven't gone there yet. But you know that, deep inside your gut, you know that something better is out there, and that's why you're always looking out for OJ, looking for only Jesus, looking for outrageous joy. We want it, we hope for it, but then we bury it with our addictions in life, and that's a thing that will stop us from our potential. The addictions that we have, our idols, our idolatry, our everything and anything, from time to time, all sorts of stuff gets to us. Addictions of sex and alcohol, drugs, and games, and just the love of power, and the love of money, and the love of lust, and the love for just domination and destruction, just to conquer other people and everything, because of the sadness that grows in us, the darkness that grows in us, because we are a donut. Our heart is a donut, and we need a new one. That's why we gotta get a new one, and that's what L4OJ is all about, and we try to go for that. But then we lose our ways a little bit. But then once we find our way, we become a lighthouse. We become a candle in the dark world. We become an oatmeal in the middle of potatoes. And it's incredible once you get there, but not until then. And for all you oatmeals out there, I tell you that life is incredible. But don't give up. Persevere. And find other people that are in it with you, who are going down the same path, the same goals in life, and stick with them. Don't go with the other people that are going the other direction, because then you will be divided. Your house will not stand if you're divided. Your heart, your soul, your life, your purpose, your love, everything will not stand that way. It cannot. It's impossible. I mean, you could try for a while, for a season, but eventually you'll be divided and conquered, and that's the goal of the father of lies, the father of destruction. The guy that was a snake. Was he a snake? Was he a serpent? Who is this wizard, this Voldemort, this terrible monster out there? We all know that evil is out there, and we deny evil sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we want to just deny that there's evil. But if we take the time to listen to that small little voice, our gut, our heart, whatever it is, our soul, we know that there is a lot of evil out there. And the thing that we need to be careful around is the root of evil, the source of evil, where it all comes from, everything. Not other stuff. Not guns. I've been making a lot of live stream videos about guns and Black Panther. The past week I was talking about guns, and we were forgetting that, the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. The heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. And we forget what purpose is, especially if we live our lives lost in our own addictions. And we may not know any better, but once we do know better, then going back to our old ways of life is the most painful thing we could ever do. We could ever do. And if you see a better way of life and you don't share it, you don't tell your friends and tell other people about it, your life becomes totally miserable, totally lost, and it's too bad. It's too bad, because you can have more. You totally can have more if you want it, but you gotta go the way that you were destined to trod, to go upon, to go down. You have a path, you have a destiny, you have a purpose, and you can be happy. You don't have to be lost. You don't have to be lost. You don't have to be. If you don't want to be, you can get out of the Facebook ghetto. You can get the man out of the ghetto, but can you get the ghetto out of the man? Can you get the Oatmeal Joey out of the oatmeal? And if you do, can you get the oatmeal out of the Oatmeal Joey? Do you want to be lost, or do you want to be found? And if you are found, if you do have purpose, what are you doing with your time? As other people are lost all around you, are you trying to help them find the light and the hope and the purpose and the love, the life that you have? Are you trying to help them find and to have life, and to have life more abundantly? What energizes your soul? What gets you up in the morning? What makes you content and happy and joyful? Is there any meaning and purpose? Is there any deeper meaning to life? And if there is, are you going to shout it out from the rooftops? Or are you just gonna hide it under a bushel? No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine Let it sound. Alright. I'm Oatmeal. And you're a potato.